Hello, 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 everyone. It is Teresa from Teresa's Spot for Art, where I love sharing art from my heart and sharing some Silhouette Studio short YouTube videos for you guys to help you learn and love your Silhouette Studio software. So let me change screens, and I'm going to show you today how we bridge designs to create easy stencils with our Silhouette. So the first thing I want to do, I have downloaded a couple of SVGs, and I'm going to open one on the screen now. Okay, so I'm going to go up to File, Open. I'm going to find my downloads. Here's this one. We'll start with this one, and I'm going to hit OK. So this says Happy Harvest. It is now a JPEG with a white background. Okay, we can duplicate this. So I'm going to right-click, duplicate. Okay, and move this one off to the side. Then I'm going to come over here to my tracer. It's this little thing that looks like a piece of toast. I'm going to open the trace panel. I'm going to select trace area. And then I'm going to click and drag over this entire thing. It turns yellow, and I'm going to hit trace. Now watch, if I click on it and move, here's my original PNG. Here is my design. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to come up here to the fill panel where I have my colors, and I'm going to turn it to black, or it's actually, that's like a purpley blue, so you guys can see it more. And I'm going to make it as big as I can on the screen. Now you see how certain letters, the A, the P, this little R, they all have the insides. And that's what we need to keep when we're creating a stencil out of fonts and typography. We want these to stay together. So when we use our stencil on a surface, the insides stay. So I'm going to show you how we do that. So we're going to come over here to the left panel. We're going to click on Shapes. I'm going to click on Rectangle, and I'm just going to draw a rectangle. Doesn't matter how big it is. And again, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to come to the Fill panel, and I'm going to make it a color. And I've made it orange so you can see it. I'm just clicking and dragging it around the screen. Okay, we should probably make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to make it a little bit narrower and a little bit shorter. And now I'm going to duplicate it. So I right-click, duplicate, right-click, duplicate, right-click, duplicate. Now, I don't know how many of these need. I can click them all and then hit duplicate. I have 8. I don't know how many I'm going to need. We shall see. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to line them up in my letters. And you want to line them up as close to an edge as possible. So let me see if I can zoom in here a little bit. There we go. So this one I'm going to nudge over a little bit because you want to get a nice clean cut here in the corners. Here in the corners, okay? And I'm going to show you what I mean. Let me zoom out a little bit. I'm going to take another one, and we can use 1 for the R, but I want my R, see my R is a little bit of space? Well, I want my R to be thinner. So I'm just going to get a real thin one, and I'm going to place it in the middle. When you don't have these angled and you just have an opening, it's easier when you place them right in the middle. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with the E. I'm just clicking and dragging it. If you have a Cricut, you can do the same thing with your Cricut. I don't know how the Cricut panels work, but I know you can do the same thing with your Cricut. So far I've done the E, the R, the A, and now I'm going to do our S. My S is going to be a little hard to put this vertical. So I'm going to take my little rectangle. I'm going to grab the green dot and I'm going to rotate it. And I'm going to put it across my S. We could even make this one a little thinner too. Just by pulling in those little nodes, I'll make that one a little thinner. Okay. Now I have to do the same thing with the P. Let's get in closer because I'm going to show you how I'm going to do the P. since the P has the straight line, I'm going to take my little rectangle. I'm going to get it as parallel to the line as possible, and I'm going to move it in to my P. This way, let's make it a little shorter. I'm just dragging my nodes shorter this way. And you can use your arrow keys if you want to get it. Just move it a little tiny bit at a time. I'm going to twist it, turn it a little bit, move my arrow keys. I want to get it snugged right up against the straight part of the P. And now I'm going to click on that and duplicate it, because these P's should be, oh, nope, they're not. This is hand-drawn font, so they're not the same. And I'm going to slide it in there. Click on the node, tiny little tilt, and slide it in there. Okay? And then last but not least, we have our A. I'm going to use the skinny one for the A, so I'm going to click on this one here, duplicate, and then move it up. I want to swing it around from my A. It's way too long, so I'm going to shorten it. And then we're going to put it in here. And we're going to line it up again as close as possible to the crossbar without making it wonky. All right, now let me come out. I'm going to click and drag on my entire design, so it clicks onto all the letters and all my triangles, my rectangles. You can see they have the squares around them. And then I'm going to come over to the modify panel, and I'm going to subtract. And voila. Now when you cut this, oh, wrong way. Now when you cut this, wherever it's white, these are going to stay attached. Now your insides, which is here, are going to stay attached to the rest of your design. Okay? So that's how I did it with the PPHQ SVG. So now I'm going to go click. I'm going to grab everything again. So I'm going to click up here. I'm going to click and drag. And then I'm going to group. So now everything is a group. This moves around as one piece. So I'm going to move it over here. I'm going to show you how you can do it with your own lettering. If you get these crosshairs, you see how these crosshairs hopped up? You just want to press the letter H and they're gone. So I'm going to come over here to my font panel. I'm going to click the A, and I'm going to write the word gather. I'm going to click off it and click back onto it and make it large. Move it over. I'm going to come over here to my color. It's the palette, and I want to fill it with black so you guys can see it. Okay. Then I want to change the font. So I'm going to double click and drag everything in there and go over here to my fonts on my right panel. And I'm going to switch it to Sofancy. This is one of my favorite fonts. Okay, and again, I'm going to make it larger so you guys can see what we're doing. You know, I'm off a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, again, I have my rectangles down here, which I made, but I'm going to show you how we do that. We come up here to the shapes, click on a rectangle, and make a little rectangle. Then I'm going to click on it. I'm going to come to the color panel, and I'm going to pick an opposite color just so you guys can see. Let me pick hot pink this time so it's a little different. And I'm going to duplicate it. And duplicate it. I could count how many I need. So I'm going to click on all of them, right click, and duplicate. I can count how many I need beforehand. It doesn't matter. You can just come in here and erase them afterwards. So all these spots where you have a closed loopy letter, you're going to lose this. If you cut this the way it is right now, you're going to lose the insides. So when creating stencils, we have to bridge this design. So I'm going to take one of my rectangles and I'm going to move it up here, and I'm just going to lay it over the part of the G. Then I'm going to take this rectangle. I'm going to click on it. I get the green dot. I want to curve it. And I'm going to come over here and lay it over that part of the G. You're going to see what we're going to do in a minute. Okay, now I have to work on this little part of the G here. My rectangles are way too big for that. So I'm going to click on this rectangle. I'm going to come over here to the transform panel. I'm going to click on the second one in, and this is sizes. So now this is 3 inches tall by a 1/4 inch wide. 3 inches tall by a 1/4 inch wide. I want to make this a little narrower. So I'm going to click on this. That might work. And hit apply. Okay. And I need to make it shorter too. So I'm going to click on the top node and I'm going to shorten it up. And I'm going to bring it up here to my G. I need to turn it. And then I'm going to lay it across. I don't want these to overlap. So let me separate those and I'm going to lay it across my G. If I need to move it slightly, I can use my arrow keys. Okay, now we have it going across the G. Next thing I want to do is my A. So I'm going to grab another rectangle. I have the H and the E and the R to do. So let me duplicate this again. And I'm come up here. Let me go in a little bit. When you do letters that have a straight line, like the A has this straight part, you want to get your stencil bridge in as close to that straight line as possible. So I just want to nudge this over a tiny bit and get it as close to the straight line of the A as possible. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing with the H up here. I'm going to bring my rectangle up. I'm going to turn it. I'm going to lay it across my H. I need a little tiny one. Oh, I'll use that little one. So again, for the E, I'm going to cut the E in the middle. And then I'm going to duplicate this little tiny one. Right click, duplicate for the R. I think my computer's being a little finicky today because the screen share and the streaming don't want to play nice together. Okay, let me back out. Again, I'm going to click and drag on all my letters. I want to make sure all my rectangles are clicked. I'm going to come over here to the modify panel and hit subtract. Then I'm going to click and drag on everything again, and I'm going to group. Oh, missed my little tail of my G. Click and drag on everything and group. And now here we have our gather. When we cut this, our insides will now stay connected through these bridges to the rest of our design. Okay, let's come back. Thank you for watching my YouTube tutorial on how to bridge fonts that have insides and letters and sayings to make easy stencils for your creative projects, whatever it is. If you're painting, making doormats, whatever it is, you need to learn how to bridge your fonts and your words in order to make your own Mylar stencils. There's some other Silhouette Studio tutorials on my YouTube page. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and I will catch you next time. Thanks.